Seriously, wood. Oh, that grip is so comfortable, and it's made of wood. I have to put this thing down. I just can't take it. It's so pretty. So pretty. I'm gonna make an entire caliber out of that stuff. It's gonna be awesome.
Mighty Action X!
Tension.
Let's game! Make the game! What's the game? What's the name? I'm a Kamen Rider.
Buy a shirt. Link in the description. And in a card. And at the end of the video. And probably in the comment section too. Buy a shirt. I love pistols, and when it comes to NERF pistols, it doesn't really get much bigger or badder than the NERF Mega Magnus, which was the second NERF blaster to ever shoot the new Mega Darts and kind of invalidated any reason to ever get a Centurion. Seriously, this thing performed better, was cheaper, and way smaller. So why would you ever get one? Except for the fact that the Centurion is huge. But the point is, this thing is awesome, and it has an internal magazine, which is something that doesn't really get done all that much anymore. You got an internal part right here, you just shove 3 darts into it, kind of like that, and that, and that, and then you close it up without jamming your dart. There we go. And it works pretty good. I like it a lot. It's probably the deadliest blaster I ever took to Dart Wars, because I just shot 1 dart, so if I needed to reload, I could just pop another one in there, and I had 3 more darts if I got someone out the first time. And usually if you don't get somebody out within 3 darts, then you probably didn't deserve to win. But it would be better if it wasn't slide-based. It could do with a little bit of pump action, and people have done it. They've added, like, you know, PVC or some kind of polycarbonate kind of pump action slides on it, because it could do it. I mean, there's a lot of room on there for some kind of pump grip, and it worked pretty good. And then Captain Xavier made a far better one in his Magnus pump shotgun. But what that had in elegant simplicity, it lacked in sheer just awesomeness. And so somebody by the name of Adrian, this name. Somebody decided to make a complete 3D printed kit to turn this from this lowly little pistol into essentially a Benelli M4 shotgun. It looks pretty sweet. And then my buddy ValourLionheart decided he was going to actually bring attention to this kit, because I've never seen it before myself, even though it's been out since like October of last year. And he made what he called the Purple Pumpy. And it's beautiful, as with everything that Valor does. Yeah, that will be a common theme you'll probably see when it comes to his work. Now, if I was going to do this kit, I needed to do a little bit something different. And so I did. This is the same thing, not a whole lot of modification done there. However, it features wood parts, because not enough NERF blasters have wood on them. Now, the irony is not lost on me. The Benelli M4 shotgun does not have a wooden pump grip, it does not have a wooden grip, and it does not have a wooden stock. It's a modern military weapon. It's full of polymer and aluminum and other types of metal and plastics. The point is, it doesn't have this. But if it did, my God, would it be really, really pretty. And yes, this is 3D printed. I didn't magically just learn how to do woodworking. This is wood that was printed from a 3D printer. That is a thing you can do. And the best part about 3D printing wood is that after you sand it and then apply 4 layers of stain to it, it looks remarkably awesome. Like, I'm no fooling. Every single person I have ever showed these pieces to said it was like the best thing ever. And I happen to agree with them, because it is, not even talking about the kit, just the fact that I have 3D printed wood furniture on a blaster that looks like this makes me so very, very happy. And this kit is, I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard to put together, although it certainly isn't made easy by the not very detailed instructions. For example, apparently this thing back here is supposed to be like a, I don't know, like a thing to adjust the stock. I have no idea how it works. It has a spring and the nail and stuff in it, but it don't work the way it's supposed to, so I have no clue. It's just on there for decoration. But other than that, everything else has been completely replaced. You do have to modify your Magnus if you're going to put this on. I mean, you need to cut the slide, you need to drill holes into it, but other than that, most of the stuff is friction fit on. The front barrel is replaced with a different barrel that has 2 spots for 1-inch PVC. Then, of course, you've got the slide, which has aluminum rails that let you, obviously pump it using the foregrip right here, and the foregrip slides on the bottom barrel. The top barrel is, of course, your actual barrel of the blaster. I would like to have made this a magazine too, because I thought this would be the perfect platform for it, but when you actually look at the blaster, this is far too far up in order for me to actually reliably get it in there, and I tried to work out a way to do it, but there isn't enough movement in the priming action in order to get the dart all the way back there and then pop up and feed in. There's just not enough movement in here for that, which is a bit of a shame. It might be able to be done, and that's probably the next logical step, because then, of course, you could just put a rival magazine up here, and yeah, that would work perfectly fine for an internal 3 or 4 dart magazine, but it's a little bit beyond what I'm capable of, unfortunately. And a lot of people are asking, well, ValourLionheart did an external, Centurion magazine at the bottom. Why didn't you? And the answer to that is because it ruins the look of a shotgun, in my opinion. I like having that sword-ish kind of profile on it, that one long thing off the grid. I really like that. I don't really like magazine-fed shotguns, at all, for the most part. I like the tube-fed stuff, so I did not go about that route. I happened to dig the aesthetics of this, and, well, it's a Magnus, so aesthetics are pretty much all I get. That's not to say that the Magnus performs bad. It really doesn't. I mean, sure, it's not crazy, stupidly powerful and fast like modern modded Nerf blasters, but this thing is perfectly usable. It works pretty darn good, in my opinion. Mega darts happen to have a lot of power behind them and usually a good amount of stability, and if I really wanted to make this thing scream just a little bit more, I could, of course, upgrade the springs and stuff in it. I just didn't want to because I didn't want to break anything, because I basically made this for looks. I thought it looked pretty cool, and yeah. It's a pump-action Magnus Benelli M4 clone. The paint job is relatively simple. You've got Rust-Oleum metallics, oiled bronze, and aluminum for the barrels and most of the body. I did a little bit of gold paint marker for the bronze gold accents right there. For the wood, I stained it with Minwax wood finish in the gun stock color, because of course it's supposed to be gun stock, so I thought that nice orangey red contrast worked pretty good. And then I printed out the other parts of the blaster in bright orange, so hopefully nobody will ever mistake this thing for a real firearm, because it is meant to kind of emulate a real firearm, and I still wanted the wood furnishings to actually make sense, so I wanted to give it a somewhat realistic paint job, and, well, I didn't want to get shot, because I actually want to use this thing, because it would be hilarious to use this thing. And the aluminum bars were just, flat black, and then everything was clear-coated, except for the wood, because it already had wood stain on it. Yeah, it worked out pretty good. Other than that, basically nothing else was done other than the modifications that needed to be done for this blaster to function. I didn't really like the original sight that this thing came with, so I just glued a rail attachment piece from some blaster, probably don't know what, and it works really, really good. Like, super, super good. And that's basically it. To put this thing together, you just need some PVC, some CPVC, aluminum, a lot of time, a 3D printer, although you could probably buy the 3D printed pieces off someone if they were selling them, or if you knew somebody who had a 3D printer that could do this for you. And yeah, it works pretty good. I did print this stuff at a pretty high infill level because, I wanted it to feel weighty, and obviously something like this I'm drilling screws into, so it needed to have a lot of plastic for that material to catch, but other than that, yeah, no, I think it turned out absolutely awesome, and I posted a picture on not only the community tab of the Walcom S7 YouTube channel, but of course my Discord, linked down in the description below for those of you who've been asking for a Discord link, and everybody loved it. This is a really, really cool kit, and I have to thank ValourLionheart for showing me it even existed, because if there's one thing I love more than pistols, it's a shotgun. And this is kind of both. And it makes me very, very happy. Now, would I do anything else to this? Not really. Again, I could replace the spring, but I heard if you replace the spring with this thing, it tends to make the darts just kind of go whirly-bird all over the place, which I can see with like Megas and stuff like that. So it's probably going to stay stock. It's probably going to be my stock blaster, even though it's obviously modified. It's internally, nothing's done. It's all entirely cosmetic. And I'll use it. I'm going to use it a lot, actually, because it's a freaking pump-action shotgun. But at the same time, it's not like a crazy good war weapon. I will try to use it as a war weapon, but it's just a Magnus. I've effectively turned a pistol into a gigantic thing, which usually isn't that practical, although there is something to be said for having pump action on a blaster like this, because it makes it just so much more comfortable to use. I would say that the overall length of the entire build is almost too long for me. I had to kind of dial in the distance between the back of the stock and the foregrip. The funny thing is, this thing is adjustable. You can, of course, pull it out more, but then I wouldn't be able to shoulder it at all. So it works for anyone who's not exactly smaller than me, because you really wouldn't be able to get a comfortable grip on something like this. But other than that, yeah, no, it's pretty freaking awesome. At least I thought so. It's a pump-action shotgun, man. What more you want? I mean, maybe if it shot elite darts, that'd be cool. But it doesn't do that. That could be a thing, I guess. I think somebody make this kit work with, like, the Ray Blaster. I'm getting a little off topic, but anyway, I'm Walcom. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. That's right, I just turned a pistol into a shotgun. What do I love more than pistols? Shotguns, baby.